A major New York Jets decision is imminent as the team has something very pressing that they have to make a huge choice on going forwards, with there being options for positives in both ways, while we also have a huge update on the Jets quarterback situation going forwards for the final home stretch of this season. With the Jets season going as the way that the last 15 have went, with the Jets missing the playoffs, and like a lot of them knowing at this point they're going to be missing the playoffs, the Jets do have some final decisions to go over before that final home stretch of their last couple of games. And with that, there is a lot to go over and a lot to decide on this team, specifically in regards to some of the best players on the roster, and also what they do with the quarterback situation. Guys, there's a lot to talk about. We're going to waste no time jumping into it, but before we do jump into the video, if you are part of that 68% that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, make sure to go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss a single New York Jets update, because we got videos coming out all the time going over everything on the New York Jets, so you don't want to miss out. You want to make sure to be subscribed, have those notifications turned on, and let's jump into it, guys, because there's a lot to talk about on the Jets right now. As a team led by Aaron Glenn's call on this is about to make a major decision regarding one of the best players on their team. Garrett Wilson has been injured for a while and found himself on the IR as he's had a very injury-riddled season, in a season where the Jets really didn't have a bunch of wide receiver help for the majority of it. So we know how that all has went, and now with there being 4 games left, Wilson does have the chance to come back and finish out his year playing 11 games and adding a few more highlights to his very highlight-full career thus far. Now, with that in mind, there has been some questions on it, and Rich Cimini recently talked about this, saying Garrett Wilson with the knee is eligible to come off the IR this week. No update from Aaron Glenn. He says it will be a medical decision between Wilson and the doctors. Now, Glenn did say those conversations will be with the doc and be with Garrett. Once we nail down those conversations, a decision will be made after that. So Glenn being very careful about saying what's going to happen. Frankly, I don't think Aaron Glenn knows what the plan is with Garrett Wilson yet, because it depends on where he is health-wise. Is it, well, he can come back and he's able to play and all of that, but there's a question on if he should. Then the Jets will shut him down and understand there's no reason to let Wilson hurt himself at all or deal with a very serious injury. There's just no reason for that. Wilson is the franchise player of this team where things stand right now, and if Aaron Glenn were to bring him back for Wilson to get hurt, that is severe malpractice by him and the entire coaching staff and the Jets medical staff. However, we know Garrett Wilson. We've had him on the team long enough to know that the dog in him is going to want to play. Wilson will not want to sit out this year and watch the Jets go out with a whimper. If anything, he does want to show up and show out, showing up for fans who do want to see him appear, and also just because that's the kind of guy he is. He's got a point to prove. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. He's not going to love the idea of sitting out for the final 4 games and finishing his NFL season in his 4th year, the first one on a contract extension, appearing in 7 of the 17 available games for him. He just won't like that. And frankly, that is understandable when you look at these professional athletes and how hard they work throughout their careers to just now sit out for the greater good. But Wilson, he did appear in 7 games this year. He did miss sometimes during those games because of getting injured, but likely will finish the year with 36 receptions, 395 yards, 11 yards per reception, and 4 touchdowns. A year that by any metrics, if you hide the 7-game part, you do think, wow, what is happening with Garrett Wilson? But the fact is, it was 7 games, and Justin Fields was not doing well at that quarterback spot at all, and that did lead to it becoming very tough for Wilson to really make anything. Garrett Wilson has had truly an onslaught of awful quarterbacks throughout his NFL career, whether he's been working with Zach Wilson or, the disconnection he had with Aaron Rodgers for a year, and now this year Justin Fields, who just hasn't been able to put it together at all and has been benched for Tyrod Taylor, and now looks like the Jets are going with rookie Brady Cook for a little bit. It's really made things difficult on Wilson. However, Wilson wants to be part of the change for this Jets team, and the Jets absolutely love Wilson. As we learned from Sauce Gardner, there is a price for everyone on this Jets team. However, Wilson's price is incredibly high because wide receivers like Garrett Wilson don't grow on trees. He's one of the most talented wide receivers in the NFL, and if he does finally get a good quarterback behind him, we will see that really come to fruition in every possible way. Now, the Jets, we did see from Medspiration on Twitter that right now with the Jets, Garrett Wilson has a PCL re-injury, and that does up the severity of things, and the absences usually are 3 to 5 weeks. He's eligible to return this week, and isolated PCL injuries heal well, and there's a minimal dip in re-injury if he's not rushed. So he would not be rushing himself back and be super likely to get injured, but it's always possible. It's football. You're getting tackled. Injuries happen all the time. So when you see that, you do start to understand, okay, well, the amount of times guys get injured, it is really important to sort of understand, hey, we have to be really careful with Wilson. He's the franchise guy. He's not any player. And I mean, we saw Jets today even tweet out, I wish we could have watched Garrett Wilson, Adonai Mitchell, and John Metchie all on the field together, because now the Jets have a much better wide receiver core than they did a couple of weeks ago. That's the one thing that got really upgraded during the trade deadline. The Jets brought in a bunch of talent. They brought in John Metchie, who's been an excellent slot receiver, and looks like he's a future at that spot with the Jets. Adonai Mitchell looks good. I mean, him and Metchie both need to catch the ball a little bit better, but they have shown something here. And the Jets, I mean, the Arian Smith pick looks like an absolute swing and a miss. So when you look at that, it is good that they've found some guys who have been really, really helpful for this team going forwards. Now, funny enough, Medspiration also did talk about Tyrod Taylor and his injury, and I just wanted to show that because we are about to get into that. But regarding Garrett Wilson, Connor Hughes did discuss the situation as well. Now, first of all, Rich Cimini did say that he wouldn't bring Wilson back. Now, Connor Hughes broke it down in a bigger way, saying, if you're going big picture, yeah, that makes sense to shut him down and don't use him if the team should keep him on the bench. I just don't think you can do that to Garrett. Garrett is such a different guy. He wants to win so bad, and he wants to be on the field so bad that when he is healthy and he can clear and pass all the tests, I don't see, especially because this isn't a knee tear or anything like that, I don't see the Jets being able to keep Garrett Wilson out of the lineup. I genuinely do believe that. I think he is a guy who is going to have to be out there, and he is going to want to be out there, and the Jets are ultimately going to have put him back out there. So when he is healthy, I do think the Jets will probably put him out there unless something crazy happens over the next couple of weeks. So with that in mind, it does make a whole lot of sense surrounding the Jets that maybe you put Wilson out there for morale purposes and a situation like that, and to see if this wide receiver core actually is something to go with and how much money the Jets would have to allocate towards a free agent or what draft pick they'd be willing to use on a soon-to-be rookie wide receiver. So that's really what you have to sort of decide there. Now, again, on top of this, there is an injury to Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor hurt his groin pretty much instantly into the Jets game on Sunday, and he should be out for around 2 to 3 weeks. Older players tend to be on the higher side of the timeable range, with quarterbacks returning slightly earlier than some other positions, but at the same time, I don't expect Taylor to return this season, if you ask me. I do think we've probably seen Tyrod Taylor in his last game in a Jets uniform. Maybe the Jets ultimately do decide to re-sign Taylor and think he's a good backup to have around, and Taylor's fine with doing that, but I do imagine Taylor would rather play as the backup on a winning team than the backup on a losing team. So, obviously, free agency is one thing, and we'll get into that when we're in the offseason, but we're not right now. And what the point is Taylor would be the starting quarterback if he is healthy. However, Taylor's not healthy. He's not going to be healthy by Sunday, and that will lead to the Jets having to make a decision between if they're going to use Brady Cook or if they're ultimately going to bring back Justin Fields. I don't see the point of bringing back Justin Fields right now, though Taylor didn't play particularly well either. He had 779 yards and 5 touchdowns thrown with 5 interceptions. Here's the thing. Taylor was looking like the better QB than Justin Fields, according to all eye test metrics. And when you look at Brady Cook and the one game he played, things didn't go exactly great, per se, by any means. I mean, look, he completed 14 of his 30 attempts and, got 163 yards, had 2 interceptions, and fumbled the ball. So there was not a whole lot great going on with Brady Cook. However, as I mentioned the last time I talked about Brady Cook, yesterday, at the end of the day, Brady Cook got thrown into an impossible situation. There was no way for him to really succeed there. They were down 21-0 by the time he came in, and it was the middle of the first quarter. It was an absolutely atrocious game played by the Jets. It was the first Jets game I ever got to watch in person, so lovely. But it was still fun. Look, the thing is, with Brady Cook, he's just it's the unknown. It's the love of the unknown, which is why he becomes this talked about guy. We're like this with every rookie and every bad team. Well, what if he pans out? And frankly, I think that notion is good enough to play Brady Cook for the rest of the season. We know we're going to get out of Justin Fields. Nothing, and he's not going to be on the team next year. We know we're going to get out of Tyrod Taylor. Nothing. He's injured, and he likely won't be on the team next year. Brady Cook, will he be on the team next year? Maybe. Probably not. Maybe on the practice squad. It's not going to be their main backup unless something really crazy happens over these next couple of weeks. But there is that what if. And the Jets are going to lose a bunch of games anyway. Fields is going to show no what ifs. There's no what ifs for Justin Fields. There's no what ifs for Tyrod Taylor because he's hurt and 36. There's a what if on Brady Cook. Take the chance. It's not going to hurt you at this point. If anything, he plays even worse than the other two, and the Jets lose a bunch of games and get the first pick. So there's that outlet. But guys, what do you think about this? Do you want to see Tyrod Taylor come back? Do you want to see Brady Cook start? Do you want to see Justin Fields get back in the game? Or also let me know about Garrett Wilson. Should he come back? Should he not? I kind of err on the side of I don't think it makes sense to bring him back, but Garrett's going to try to force his way back, and it's one of the reasons why we love Garrett Wilson. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Go Jets.